Yeah.
Gotta watch out for the moose.
He's in the woods right now. He's floating.
No, he's like no bear spray, like living on the edge.
Yeah.
He's got a band shirt on. He's safe.
Oh my gosh, clutch.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's we're rolling back. Oh, and now there's a random person.
Yes. It's 100% random, but only half random, but still kind of the same sort of random. It is Ma and Pa Schaefer's other male genetic remix, Jace.
And he's not entirely existent. Like that's what I love is he moves interdimensionally.
See, it's
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the universe that he exists in, which makes perfect sense.
I visit it often.
Yeah.
I mostly just get frustrated because I can't remember how to do like backgrounds.
So I do backgrounds, but mine always seem to come out terrible. And whatever the opposite of Jacob and Jace, their background is, that's what mine is. It's like, so we'll talk about this. I finally made it to the movies. I finally made it to the New Orca Theater to go see Tenet, and it is the Tenet version of his background. It's the same, but the exact opposite.
Inverted entropy.
Ooh, yes, that's what the kids are calling it. Which, by the way, we probably should have done the review for that movie while it was still fresh in our mind. But it brings us to kind of what we're discussing today, and that's a movie that they're also playing at the Orca Theater at this very second. They're not playing Tenet anymore, but they are playing Beetlejuice. And they're playing The Lost Boys coming up in a week. So we'll get to that later. Yeah. Well, all of these movies, aside from Beetlejuice, that they're playing, they're also seem to be available on streaming services. If they're not new movies, for the most part, they're available on streaming services. Beetlejuice is not. I had to rent it last night, but it is currently playing at the Orca Theater, as well as Hocus Pocus, which is on Disney Plus, and I will be reviewing very soon with the one and only Nikki Stein. But that being said, I'm not smart enough to really understand Tenet, but I do know that Christopher Nolan makes pretty smart movies, and I enjoyed it. I like Christopher Nolan. There you go. If you have the opportunity to... What's up?
Oh, I said he does all right.
He does okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just like, if you're just out and about and like, this guy's name sounds familiar. Didn't he used to pitch for like the Orioles or something?
No, that was the Texas Rangers. He also pitched for the Mets, and he punched Robin Ventura in the head.
Oh, nice. That's his claim to fame.
Yeah, that was it.
As a name.
And then like a side project, he pumps out a film or two every so often.
Every once in a while, when he's not
when he gets bored
in Texas, he's making big movies.
He was my favorite backup quarterback.
I like that he was a two-sport superstar, but he very frequently gets overshadowed by Bo Jackson. And I think part of the reason that we forget that Christopher Nolan was a great two-sport athlete is because he's also British.
Yeah, and Deion Sanders.
He didn't have his own cartoon show.
Bo
I remember
had a
like
cartoon.
Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan. I can't remember the title of it off the top of my head.
All-Star or something.
Yeah, All-Star.
Okay, so by the way, this is why I love Siri.
Yeah, this is just. Yeah. By the way, that's going to be the first thing that we're utilizing this chat for is the Bo Jackson.
Stars.
No, I remember because there was Bill and Chris Nolan's Excellent Adventures. I remember the.
Dang it, you're right. Yep. Strike that.
But in the realm of like streaming service and chill, as well as downloadable content movies, you really could make a Christopher Nolan Bill and Ted. And what does that look like?
Bill, Ted, and Chris, or Bill, Ted, and Chris.
Oh, totally.
Wild Stallions plus the drummer. It
turns out he's the glue that brings it all together. He's the rug.
Honestly, Bill and Ted don't get along at all. Like there's a real deep rivalry. It was over a girl, years and years ago in like a whole nother dimension. But Chris is like, guys, we got to do this for the music. Like, no, they legitimately hate each other.
That makes sense. I mean, that would have to be why they had to import wives from like the 1500s.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
and it was and honestly, they're probably doing weird. Like, neither of them know that they're both cheating on each other.
Well, because they're going to different dimensions, man. It's kind of like Savages, where they're both married. They're both kind of married to the same woman, and instead of having a drug farm, they're in a band.
Yeah. Not even a good band. It'd be better if it was a good band. I mean, honestly though, but isn't this really like the oh my gosh, what was Stevie Nicks' old band?
Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah, isn't this really the Fleetwood Mac story? Like interdimensional travelers with Chris Nolan that ended up cheating on each other.
Makes me want to hop on a longboard and drink cranapple juice. Which, by the way, is the best thing on Instagram right now. If you have an Instagram, longboarding and listening to Fleetwood Mac is where it's at.
I don't, honestly, Fleetwood Mac, this is the only band I can say this about because I enjoyed Fleetwood Mac's songs. And I've owned them. I've owned a handful of their albums on every format that's been available short of MP3. But because I've owned them on record, I've owned on vinyl, and original vinyl, not like modern day vinyl where it doesn't sound all scratchy, like old school vinyl where your parents like use safety pins.
Dude, it was one size fits all needles. No one really gave a shit.
Yeah, and it was like every time you played the record, you were destroying it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had Fleetwood Mac on that. I had them on cassette. I had them on CD. But legitimately, I will say the best band of all time to listen to. Rumors. Was Rumors the name of the album?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
The two brass balls on the cover.
The best album to ever listen to on 8-track was Rumors.
Yeah.
Like that was as far as like if you're like an 8-track connoisseur, which I don't imagine there's probably like maybe 3 of them and they're really creepy and I wouldn't hang out with them. But the I am Siri's probably one, but like I'll hang out with him. But but no, honestly, Rumors was the best 8-track album ever because the problem with 8 tracks was the whole album had to be good. Like you couldn't dedicate yourself to just one song. But honestly, that was the format. I don't know what they did, but that was the format in which I think Fleetwood Mac sounded the best. Is in like your car stereo with the one speaker in the middle of your dashboard playing the 8-track, kind of dragging a little bit during certain parts of the songs just to give it a little flair.
So that's a really interesting thing to talk about because we live in this streaming world where in different genres of music, it seems like certain artists are putting out music every week, every month and a half. There's a consistent flow of music that we weren't seeing before, and you don't have that same experience where like 15 songs of gold. Where artists really took time to make a record sound coherent. There was a theme to this. It captured a time and energy. I don't know. part of that I think is going to the store and buying it, having it to have getting a physical copy out of it versus like a virtual experience that you're listening to over your phone. You know,
I think
home
become
stereos
bubblegum
matter
pop.
then. Oh, sorry.
I was saying it's all kind of become bubblegum pop. That's why they always mocked pop to begin. It was just kind of this one-off. Was what was good at the moment, and then you moved on to something else. And people not putting the time and effort and their soul in as much. They're just getting it out to get in it out. Has made it more bubblegum pop, no matter what the genre is for me.
so. I remember it's very interesting because I was actually having a conversation about this with my daughter, who's 11. But I remember back when like Vanilla Ice's single "Ice Ice Baby" came out, and they pulled the single because no one was buying the album, because everyone knew the album was absolute garbage, which was wrong, by the way. It is probably the most sophisticated like masterpiece that we will hear out of the 20th century.
Rasta Man changed my life.
No, but I was having a conversation about this with my daughter actually.
Get off.
Because okay, so Ethan Jewell, who we're trying to get onto the podcast, he's this cool 18, 19-year-old kid, does really cool spoken word stuff, and just just the guy anyway. But one of his inspirations, a guy named Hobo Johnson,
Is that
has
Jim's brother?
what?
Is that
Yeah, Jim Varhus's brother. But the no, Hobo Johnson and Hobo Jim. No. Anyway, so this guy is probably
Manscaped.
yeah, he's probably mid-20s, maybe 30. I don't know. I'll have to get his actual. But anyway, so he's decided to pull back, and he's like, I'm not going to do music for a while because I'm exhausted. Because in the modern day, doing music is like I got to release a video every week. Like I got to come up with a song every week. I got to send it out there. I'm getting instant gratification. Like when I was in a band, we learned if our song, like you took your songs on the road. Like if you had a new song, you played it in front of an audience and you saw how they reacted to it. It wasn't like you made this well-produced thing, released it to the world, and then got instant feedback. So it's it like the we had a album called 400 milligrams because it took us 400 hours to record it. That's not even the time it took us to write it. But it took us 400 hours to record it. We estimated we smoked about 400 cigarettes, and that was the other part of that title. But it was this whole thing. It was this whole ordeal. Like you built an entire project, and then you released that to people, and like there was some shit on it, and there's some good stuff on it, and people just had to have enough faith to be like, for an hour of my life, I'm going to listen to what you've created. Now everything is done. It's like, hey, in 3 minutes, I'm going to figure out if I like you or not, But on the same token, you as the artist, like I'm going to need constant content.
So one of the upsides of that is that, I mean, these artists that are putting out a record a month, they're not typically dropping like a 4-hour album. It's normally like a 30-minute listen to it on your commute to nowhere. I don't want to say throwaway, but there's not it lacks something, like the time that they spent on this project isn't what they could have spent on this project to make it truly special. And it ends up sounding, I don't want to say that it sounds more like a mixtape, but there's a difference, and I think you can hear it when you listen to a band or to a producer, whoever it is that releases an album every 2 to 3 years. There seems to be more thought and more attention to the little things than say, okay, it's October now and you've released 5 records this year. There's a different energy to it.
I think you nailed it with mixtape. I mean, are we seeing the death of the album?
Yes, 100%. 100%. I mean, you still have artists. You still have artists who are artists and pay attention to the craft, right? That do whatever it is that they do, whether it's animation or whether it's making TV shows that pay attention to their craft because they're doing it consistently, day in, day out. And that's the thing that they do that they specialize in. But yeah, you got to do 5 or 6 different things. You know, I'm curious about the folks that were working on the Venture Brothers, which, by the way, I was just introduced to over the weekend by Siri.
You're new.
I'm new.
You're new to the Venture Brothers.
What episode are you on?
Well, here's where it gets better. So, so the idea, rather than watching a whole series and deciding whether or not you're going to get into it, because typically the series starts off pretty slow. What Siri did was he picked, I guess, sort of like where it was at, maybe at their best, or the best place to introduce someone to something. Like if you think of a TV show as a band, right? This particular episode is them at their very best doing their thing that is the most them. Whereas the pilot is sort of like a band gets a demo deal and we're like, well, you know what? This has some potential for growth. Let's see what this looks like after 13 of them. Okay, now we've gotten to season 2, episode 7. You know, what do we actually have when we're at, you know, our jobs are safe.
What was it? The ground control to Major Tom moment.
Okay. So these are questions for Siri because he picked the episode.
Yes.
And he picked.
Siri's our special guest.
He is grateful he's here. What was it about, not just about this show, but specifically about this episode that says, this is how I'm going to introduce you to this?
Because for me, it has all the right steps without giving away everything that comes with the show. It's an episode you can just step in. It gives you a really good idea of what's going on in the show without giving away some of the really major players and a lot of the development and growth. This is Underbite. He's not really a big player in this show, but this was kind of his little story and character development and build. And it just gives you a really good idea of what the rest of this show is going to be like, how the characters are and are going to interact. Could have thrown you in with season 2, the very first episode of season 2, which is Return to the House of the Mummies Part 2, which, just as a hint, there is no Part 1. You're just in, and it is the most random, easy time traveling.
It's magic.
Yeah, it's fun and stuff, but it's not. It's even less coherent.
I am so shocked that Bill has not encountered this. Like, I didn't realize that he lived, like, for a guy who's traveled the world and done many things. Like, I can't believe how sheltered he is.
But this is wonderful.
I've been trying to get him to watch it for a while.
So other folks that I respect in the people in you know that love animation that would go home on a Thursday night and record Cartoon Network, or stayed up on a Saturday night to watch the newest episode of Cowboy Bebop. This is a show that they all that the folks I know that are into that are very into this. And they all seem to have very good taste. So, you know, this is the episode. So then it returns to me, right? Whereas now, Jacob, have you watched The Sopranos?
I've seen bits and pieces of the episodes. I've never watched.
He did the left side look. You know, he's like,
no.
No.
So
It's like, did you finish your homework?
So now we've got to pick a Sopranos episode for him to watch that is the most Sopranos episode, so that he can get a picture of everyone at their Tony at his most Tony, Christopher at his most Christopher. with Drea De Matteo and and the rest of the crew in there. My gosh, it's such a great show with a lot of different layers. What is the episode that you would introduce Jacob to?
I think we just go right to the very last episode, so you get to hear Journey.
Journey.
And you have no context for anything.
Well,
you have,
Much like
you have nothing. Just a family at a diner having a good time, getting unplugged.
Don't stop believing.
That's the funny thing too.
You got to figure all this out on your own.
We'll do it like Memento. You work backwards.
There are some shows that it's just very difficult to do that. Like if I want you guys to watch Community, I would recommend any of the paintball episodes. I wouldn't go and pick one of the episodes that I felt really captured all the relationships and everything. I was like, go watch the paintball ones and then work your way back.
I think so I love that Community, like that's how you're gonna relate like The Sopranos. Like I love that it's like, well, the character development and Community, and like honestly you got to get to know them, but like just start with the fun stuff, and we'll do the paintball episodes of The Sopranos first too.
I think their paintball might be a little different.
No, that was actually what most people don't get. This is that the Sopranos was a metaphor for paintballing, the whole thing, and it's
actually
multiple layers. Like you brought up Memento, everything goes back to Christopher Nolan. Many layers.
Many layers.
Really, I think I think your show is definitely a spin-off of The Sopranos. I think there's several characters there. Yeah.
Right on. I'll look forward to watching it.
So,
I'm pluribus anus.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't that a member of GWAR?
yes.
Yeah.
I feel like he's wearing that Clutch shirt like a hipster. Like he's wearing it in like a, hey, look, I have a Clutch shirt. You probably don't. Yeah, didn't think you did. Like I think that you probably wouldn't even know how to get one. You probably weren't even there.
Go to a show.
I've got a cunt
I like
punch.
this one because it's like, as I disappear.
Again, that's the universe that he's in. It's weird.
Phasing in and out of reality.
Just
Star
whatever.
Trek episode.
It's trippy, man. It's trippy.
I phase in and out of the show.
It happens as well.
With a little help from your friends.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any friends, so it's just us.
No.
We just get together once a week.
When I drink alone.
That's the greatest slogan that I think like Pabst Blue Ribbon ever had.
Listening to Chumbawamba.
Oh yeah.
I get
It's a
down.
reference.
Get up again.
You're gonna keep me down.
Give me another song. Give me another song by Chumbawamba.
Drip, drip, drip goes. Dude, I used to have that whole friggin' album memorized.
No way you bought the album?
Yeah, dude.
You listened to the album.
The whole
See,
thing.
I thought if you went to a Chumbawamba concert, they just played that for like 2 hours. No, they had the one song that was on the Stigmata soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That one did well.
Yeah.
So they had two songs. So you could, you were hoping Chumbawamba would be the opening band because they'd be done quick and you could see the band you actually came to see. But
Dude, they had albums and albums and albums. They had multiple revolving members. They started as some kind of anarchist commune. And
one thing I do appreciate is that they encourage their fans to go and steal their records.
Yeah.
Like that was
Before the internet.
Yeah, that was cool. Like go into the store and it wasn't like steal it, like, pirate it or copy it off onto like a cassette. No, it was like go into the store, stick it in your pocket and leave.
Yeah. Dude, their website was off. Yeah. Yeah. Chumbawamba was pretty cool.
You can't talk about their website before the internet at the same time. Like you've got to choose one.
Well, it was pre-Napster is what I mean.
Oh.
they were on the internet before Napster.
What if they led to modern Antifa?
I think they did.
If Chumbawamba were encouraging kids who were 10 to 14 years old to go into Sam Goody or Best Buy or Walmart, wherever it was they were shoplifting in their city, state, or country.
Wherever they were tub thumping.
Yeah, wherever they were tub thumping. What if that led to, you know, like to the Arab Spring? Like, what if that was where it started? And now, like, we had the image of Portland burning because the folks that were in Portland doing the burning were motivated by folks that were motivated by Chumbawamba. Like Tupac said, something about sparking the revolution. I'm going to paraphrase here and fuck it up. I may not be the person that does it, but I guarantee that I'll spark the brain of the person that does. But further down the line and starting with Chumbawamba.
I think
It'd be kind of hilarious because they're British.
Well, and I honestly, I think you have a very pessimistic point of view on this because like you're looking at like, what if Chumbawamba is the reason why the world's gone to hell? I'm like, what if Chumbawamba is the reason why Mandela got freed?
Hey. Cause and effect.
Yeah, because he got knocked down and then he got up again, and they never got to keep him down.
But he got.
I mean, they did for several years, but
they came out like 96 or 97. We're you know,
it takes time.
Mandela had gotten free years before that. Like I think we need to find a better thing that they might have done than free Mandela.
Oh, is there anything? So you're saying there's something better you could do with your life than free Mandela?
Oh, it's really good. It's a really good question.
So I'm saying if there's anything you could do, it wouldn't be free Mandela. You just leave him there while your album, your one song got played on MTV to a bunch of kids. No, that's fine. That's great, Bill. That's very. That shows a lot about your character. No, no, obviously. You can cut this part from the segment if you want.
So you guys need to watch Man of the Year. Have you seen that, Jake?
Robin
Williams.
I feel like I have, but I don't know. Like all of my Robin Williams stuff all turns into what was that? The super dark film he did. It wasn't Eternal Sunshine of the
the one where he was in charge of editing the pictures.
No, not that one. The one that's very Dante's Inferno.
Where he
goes into
for his wife.
Yeah, he goes into hell to find his wife.
Yeah.
What was that? That was okay, so Robin Williams, by the way, what
Dreams May Come.
Yes.
That's an incredible movie. That is an incredible movie. And I wonder if that's on a streaming service.
And let's add that to the list of the movies that when we do the review of movies that will fuck up your life. I think What Dreams May Come. Yeah, or the movies that I can't remember how you phrase it, the movies that like will ruin you. But
scar you psychologically.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That was one. That one was tough.
It's not currently available for free on any streaming service. You can rent it on Amazon Prime.
See, you didn't even have to go, "Hey Siri."
Okay, so we're gonna have to wait until the deeper end of winter before we ask any local movie theater to broadcast that one to a group of human beings.
Might be more of a summer flick. You don't want to.
When there's no light, there's no hope.
They just come out of the theater.
You go into the theater at 3 p.m. and it's dark. Come out at 5 p.m. and you're scarred, and it's still dark. No, like I mean, like that one always messed me up because in my mind I'm like, but that's Mork and Mindy. Like, Mork and Mindy are in hell.
He's the genie. He's so many things, but then that's just fucking terrible. And then he kills himself.
Well, Alaska did it to him.
He made a movie in Alaska. I don't know.
Well, actually, have you ever heard? Here's a streaming service. Shout out to Mark Maron. Have you ever heard Mark Maron's interview, which was a couple weeks before he killed himself?
No.
Okay,
No.
he talks specifically about being in Alaska, and he had been sober for I don't know how long, but he'd been sober for quite a while, and he's in Alaska making this movie, and he's in his hotel, and he's just feeling absolutely alone and very Alaskan. So he goes down to the bar, and that's the first time he starts drinking in a while, and then you can see a rapid progression from him returning to drinking to his suicide. And he has this wonderful interview where Mark Maron stuff is usually pretty funny and like people open up a bit and whatnot, but this was like a weird, like he like laid out his plan, which by the way, Mark Maron should hashtag us for us giving him the shout out. But the it's very, like when you listen to the actual Robin Williams, it's a little bit creepy, like, and not creepy like it's like creepy is the wrong word. Haunting. Let's go with haunting. Like it's got like he's doing a lot of foreshadowing in it. But yeah, basically he was in a hotel in some, I can't remember what particular city in here in Alaska, and the depression hit. So he went and he started, for like the first time I think in years, like went down like to the bar and got some, like, you know, I think it was Jack Daniels. Also hashtag Jack Daniels. We should get sponsorship for blaming them for his suicide. But the so he started doing the entertaining, the needing of the attention thing again. But that got him off the bandwagon. And it was shortly after that he he went the opposite direction of living. But yeah, so I honestly, I think Alaska really, like, I think Alaska broke Robin Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, I still love it here, but
Or that small town that they were filming in.
yeah, but I think but Alaska's a weird place. Alaska can mess with you mentally and emotionally.
Definitely. Yep. Such a wide variation. You go from summer 22-hour sunlight to winter when you get zilch.
Oh yeah, and trying to explain that to your kids, where it's like you have to go to bed and they're like, it's still light outside.
Yeah.
Just that's when you just start hitting them.
With the mallet, trying to knock conscious. Forget me stick. Shout out to Megamind.
So it looks like the Alaskan locations for that film were Valdez, Hyder. Yeah, Valdez and Hyder. So
I think it was Valdez.
I should call him.
Dude, Valdez is gorgeous, but yeah, I was there last week, and this is just after they start shutting down, and yeah, it's pretty dead. If you're not an outdoors person, there's not a lot to do. I don't know if they even have a bar there.
You're the only person that was in Valdez last week. Like no one else. I'm not gonna.
Well,
I can
except
go.
for a dude named Daniel. I gotta give a shout out to the Fat Mermaid, Valdez. Their friggin' chicken quesadilla is worth whatever drive time it takes you to get there.
how long did it take you to get to Valdez?
We drove to Palmer, and that was about a 5-hour drive because of road construction. And then it took us about 7 hours from Palmer to Valdez.
Probably Seward. He's probably thinking Seward.
So here's
Like this whole entire time.
a question. Now, Valdez is where they had the oil spill, correct?
Yes.
So how do we
William
know
Sound.
it was a mermaid and not just like a chemical freak?
I don't know. Yeah.
Mermaids have the two eyes. The chemical freaks have the 3 eyes.
Okay, and then out front of the Fat Mermaid, they have some freaky half-naked crab lady. Like upper half's female, lower half is crab legs. Not a mermaid, unless maybe mermaid.
It's like a
actually-
Is she-
minotaur. It's a minotaur of the sea.
Is she single? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Like, is
She's
she
been there a
looking?
while.
Man,
Kind of crabby. I don't know. How you,
can you have? I don't know how their reproductive organs work, man.
What does it mean
Like,
then
can
when you say
can
I have the
make love
crabs?
to a crab?
oh, there's so many questions. This is something we had.
Which of us is going to be the one to look it up?
She's always attached to your pubic hair.
Ooh.
It's like she's got you right by the short.
My recommendations have been so weird ever since I made that search.
Weird Facebook ads for just
Anime.
Hey, Jace, what are you drinking, man?
Lagavulin.
What is that?
It is a scotch, and it is one of the best.
Is this one that you picked up from
That
your trip to Scotland?
What's sorry?
Is
say
that one that you picked up from your trip to Scotland?
It's one of the ones I tried for the first time in Scotland. I got this bottle in IGA here in Kenai.
Well, that's cool though. Like the fact that you can go to IGA and you can get that. Now, here's a question before we run out of time on the free version of Zoom. Do you notice a difference in the taste?
Tremendously.
Okay. Well,
I
it's like being able to go and buy the import version of a CD. There's just something a little different.
yeah.
Maybe
Yes.
it's an extra song. Maybe there's some weird text on the cover. But it's like
Little
you
hidden
got
message at the end.
import of a Grateful Dead CD, and it turns out that like they got to give you extra preservatives, extra songs, extra remixes. No, because in Holland they've got brown bottle Heineken, and it tastes completely different from what you'll get here. And it's a different. What we get here is I don't drink anymore, but it's different. It's a different beer. So yeah, it makes sense. All right, Jakey Poo.
I will say like what in reference to what Bill said, I don't drink any less. But a couple questions. Also wanted to reference Cracker. Like if you were the lucky guy that got the album of Cracker that had Euro Trash Girl at the very end. But no, the one thing that's really, I know we're running out of time here, but the one thing that's I'm just insanely intrigued by, what came first, the scotch or the hat?
The hat.
The hat? Oh, yeah, because you get a hat like that, you have to drink the scotch then. Like you're just committed.
Yes.
Now that we've brought attention to people's hats, that's a really sweet hat you got there, Jake.
Oh yeah. This is Redemption. It's not a bad gym. You do all right. Do a little bit if you like to do a little fighting.
This is my 10th Planet shirt, and that's a shirt from a band called Cunt Punch in California. That was a gift. So we got gifts.
Yeah.
Shout
Gotta
out
put a
to
link to
Cunt
the
Punch.
music.
I don't know. Maybe that's the title. Maybe not. Yeah. So do we have a title for this segment yet? Because maybe
Rob Williams suicide.
Alaska
You know what?
Kid.
Robin Williams suicide.
Pro Stars, Venture Brothers,
Why there is no longer a bar in Valdez.
and why you shouldn't drink in Valdez. All right. I got it. We're in. I think.